Big thank you, Rithy, for giving me the time. I'm sorry I have been struggling by setting up everything for now. It's half an hour. You start to think and tell me about your story. But I didn't want to leave Cambodia without getting a chance of speaking with you. So many people mention about Rithy. So many people mention about your vision, how much you did for the tech scene, how much you did to support the development of entrepreneurs. You are an entrepreneur yourself. You have many different businesses. I want to learn more about these businesses, but first I would love to learn about you as a person. So can you introduce yourself? Tell me who you are, where you come from, very personally tell me your stories.
Okay. Um, so I it's hard to introduce myself because sometimes I question who I am. um, but the fact about me is I'm from a small island in Kanda province, not so far from here, from Phnom Penh. Um, I was born, lived, and raised there for 17 years of my life, and moved to Phnom Penh in 2014, 2004 and go to schools and quit my school after 2 years. Um, accidentally, um, like some other people who quit school, they generally quit after 2 years. I don't know why. Maybe the first year was like bearable and second year was unbearable and they quit. Those I adore those who continue to finish their school until 4 years. But I found that I could learn more things,
For yourself.
not by myself, outside of school, with others, like talking to people like you, traveler from across the world, who brought so much more knowledge than my teachers that teach me based on textbook. So that's what I found. And the other thing that I found was I could learn so much more from the internet. There was countless texts, philosophies, ideas,
So
concepts
how old
from
were
the
you
internet.
when you left school?
I think I was 19. So when I went to school, I would go to class very minimum. For example, I go to school, but I don't go to class, but I just go to library. I borrow books, read in the libraries, and then if I like the class, I would go in the class. But I go in the school that I went to. We only have 3 hours per day in the evening class. It was a private university, very small, and so to me it was learning design by other that I don't really like the subject. So to me, it more of a waste of time. Then I decided to read books that I like that that will bring more knowledge to me than forcing knowledge that many time I thought it's not really applied to what I want to do. So I quit that, and then when I quit school, I had problem with money. So then I had to find a way to earn money for a living. That forced me to go deeper into the internet and try to offer my service on the internet as a consultant. I put ads everywhere, ads on basically anything that I can sign up to and put an ads on. I put an ad on the internet, and then people would find me, and then hire me to take them to places that some of them are investors, some of them are tourists,
And
and
he's made money?
yeah, they pay me per day. At the time, $50 a day was a lot
Yeah.
as a pagoda boy,
And
ex-pagoda
we
boy.
explained that you used to live in a pagoda
Yeah.
to the recent market in Phnom Penh at that time. How long have you been there?
I was living there two years.
Tears.
Yeah, 2 years.
Living in the pagoda
Yeah,
with other students, among the monks,
yeah.
and what you had at that time? You had your bed, your laptop,
No laptop,
nothing.
nothing. I don't have a computer. The only way for me to access a computer is that if I sign up to a computer class, or I would pay per hour, $1 an hour to go to an internet cafe. I spend $1 an hour in those cafe. and it's
Yeah, if you
yeah.
get a $50 and your cost is only $1,
Yeah.
it's
Well, I
it's a
spend
bit
more.
lousy.
I spend more. I spend about $80 a month on on uh, on internet cafe fee because I go there more than
Yeah, a
more
lot of
than an
time.
hour. Yeah, sometimes a whole day, sometimes 3 hours, sometimes just to download mail and then print out paper and read it at home to save money.
Well, it seems that, since I've read about you and reason I wanted to meet you is it seems that you have strong vision and strong belief in love. It seems that when you want to achieve something, and you want to do something your way, you do it your way, even if at the end, sometimes it's not exactly how it should have worked. And something I got from one of the last publication we did, belief versus fact,
Hmm.
is something I did like a lot because it resonated a lot with me as an innovation approach.
Hmm.
As an innovation person, we need to have a belief, but we also need to be able to look back and
Accept the
see
fact.
maybe that's not the way it should work.
Hmm. Yeah.
Can you tell me a bit more about your initiative and how and why you went so after all of this teaching, learning phase, but why have we decided to go into building computers?
Yeah. May have done a lot of things, but one thing that stuck with me all the time was the ability for someone to use computer and change their life. So I only had a small chance per day to access public computer in the cafe, internet cafe. And then later on, I was experimenting myself with open source Linux and other open source software with mentor by my American mentor named Charles. And then he got me a laptop. I got myself a laptop, like used laptop by other people too, and he gave me one laptop. And that time I wanted to learn how to use the Linux to install in a laptop and use that to learn because spend 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day or even 3 hours a day from the internet cafe, public computer, you don't have your file storage. Basically, your knowledge is not built on each other. But having a laptop by myself, by my own laptop, gave me a lot of chance to collect PDF books and other materials so that I can read whenever I want, whenever I have power. And I learned computer not just from reading and not just from learning normal computer, but like programming and deeper work with computer by having a laptop and having a laptop with problem, not just like having a working laptop, but having a not working laptop
To get deep into the machine and
to make the laptop work the way I want. And so I thought if students in Cambodia or anywhere have access to laptop with the open source based operating system like Linux, then they should be able to learn a lot faster into technology, into computer, into internet, into digital life. And they would understand a lot deeper of knowledge related to security, safety online, and all that, because they know how to make computer not work and how to make computer work again. And that's resonate to what I want to see in life when I can. So I want to build a company that somewhat show a way that we could build a computer that's not mainstream like only Macs and Microsoft Windows computer that are available to uh, Cambodian students and Cambodian users.
then we rapidly realize as well that it then might be complicated and to for some students to afford their laptop. And I
Yeah,
understood recently we created more like the notion of lab,
yeah,
computer lab,
yeah,
that we can install certain laptops or access to laptop in school,
yeah,
but it's more like the sharing computer that
yeah.
people can.
So technically, I mean, I still believe that everyone should have a computer, should have a laptop of their own. But the fact is that not everyone have money to buy their own laptop. It is very fortunate for people in the West or even in the city that can afford the laptop, but there's so many people cannot afford. And having a laptop is like not a trivial thing, but it's a special thing for people like me, like myself, that come from the province, have access to a computer, would give us um, a tool to learn a lot faster. But the fact is that most people do not have money to buy the computer. And if we want them to buy a computer, they have to borrow money from the bank. They would go in debt to just acquire a
Which is
laptop.
an issue.
But I found out that school don't have lab and school can afford the lab. And the fact is that student can um, have access to computer. They just like me in the past. If there is a place to access computer, it will be good enough rather than trying to do things that's it's not affordable and
And
kill ourselves to be that.
what's the business model? So you sell the lab, like the computer for the school. Is it they pay upfront to get this computer in the school, and then they do whatever they want with it?
Yeah. So I mean, some school we sponsor, some school we do installment, most school we do sell upfront. We help them install. We support them with the ongoing process. So if they need help with curriculum to teach their students, to guide their teachers, and we work with them to create a curriculum to teach students, to teach computer to students, or to guide the teacher to teach students. So it's more like a turnkey solution for the school. We are not complete turnkey, but we're trying to support whenever the school wants. The problem is now most schools do not know what they want, or most people do not know what they want to learn with.
Microsoft.
Yeah, they just want Microsoft Word.
Do you think it's useful?
To some extent it is, but it's not really useful for the future. I mean, I mean, imagine this. I never learned Microsoft Word, but if I need to use Microsoft Word, I can get it. I can get to use Microsoft Word within maybe 5 minutes. But reverse that, a person would learn how to use Microsoft 10 years, professionally Microsoft 10 years, Microsoft Word, Excel,
So
and
what
all
is
that.
worth learning
My
today?
point is that if you learn Microsoft Word, Excel for 10 years, you're a professional with that. And if you need to do programming, you're done. You cannot. But if you learn programming, if you learn how computer work, anything on a computer, you can learn very fast.
So it's a very interesting conversation. I want to go deeper into this because I want to get your thoughts on key this. Technology giants are leading a lot of the relationship we have with machine at the moment. The Microsoft and the Google and the Meta and Tuesday guys. And in the meantime, we are entering into a very borderless world, which is
Mm,
the reason my particular initiative is open border last week.
mm,
So we see a world where borders, physical borders, are more close than ever,
yeah,
but technological borders are more open,
yeah.
right? How do you think things will change in terms of ownership of this technology landscape with borders getting open and open? Like, do you think, it has not worked so much, this Linux,
Yeah.
only for the tech developers to basically, got connected to these open source liberties. But the fact is that the tech giants still had a lot of control for the 90% of the remaining of the population.
Yeah.
Do you think we could see a change in the future with more open source model where everyone could basically get, I would not say read from this big tech platform, but get back into, you know, collaborate more with open system?
Mm. In my opinion, it's not it's not a black and white. It's not bad or good. For example, Microsoft and big company have done all the things that they do. What I'm more interested in, maybe not answer to your question, is to to provide access to people to have experiment with open source. And to answer to your question, I think it's already in many ways the big tech, the big companies hold a big power, but open source has already win this battle. For example, everything around blockchains open source.
Yes.
everything's around internet. Although server is controlled by giant corporation, but the server that controlled by giant corporation use Linux, use the open source system. Um, many internet depends, like many things on the internet depend on the open source world. The only thing that detached from that is the normal user do not know that they are using open source. They still believe 10 years ago, 15 years ago that what they learn should be transferred to their next generation, which is to me a bit wrong, if it's not completely wrong, because they believe if they do not learn how to use Microsoft or Microsoft Word, their student will not get a job after they graduate from high school. Imagine they are in grade 7, and then 6 years from now, they they think they will not get a job 6 years from now if they don't learn Microsoft. Eh, this is something that sometimes upset me because um, they think what got them there will give a chance to the student to go further. But they don't think that the future from now, 6 years from now, will change. Um, so what they learn basically learn from the past. They don't really learn to prepare themselves for the future. That's what I see at least from most of the school that I visited.
So I agree with you about this offenses layer, which is there for a while. But then on top of that, you have technology giant is you are basically creating interface for any end users
Yeah,
with access to any type of service. And on top of that, also the um the SaaS model basically supporting for any end users with a lot of different services, right?
yeah,
And the SaaS model have been here for a while now, for about a year.
yeah.
A lot of people think today that SaaS model is dead at Abraham because visibility as a SaaS to just try to own everything and own the data is over. A lot of people think that they will make it from a SaaS model to what they call a collaborative SaaS as a service model, where you won't have to only rely on the one SaaS to do a couple of them, now that you will basically have to rely on different task agents to do something, and those agents
Mm,
will interact all together through decentralized technology like blockchain.
mm.
What's your thought on those? You think we will get to that state where the different AI agents will be able to basically communicate with each other through the blockchain, and that could eventually make us move from the SaaS model we have today?
My thinking is that it will change. It will move that way because a lot of people are believing and working on that. So a lot of smart people are working on that, and it will. But the back questions is still there. Um, will this change the control from, let's say, the current giant, the control to the hand of the user? I don't think so. Yeah, I think this world will have to have master, and this is the fact. Master, like the owner, like someone will control that because this is the nature of human. If not Microsoft control the world, or if not Google control the world, someone else will control the world.
But you don't think that any single individual can control himself?
They will. I mean, some will do, but only those who are capable and decide to do so. Um, but technology will give tools. Technology will give access, give an opportunity to those who willing and want to learn and curious enough to build it, to take control for things for themselves. But the majority of the public will be controlled by,
A master tree.
yeah, a giant, a few giant, a few corporation.
This is very insightful, Billy, because I am totally there for many years that in Korea Empire, any of us, we got own data. So the moment I can own my health data, I can manage and see if I want to sell it on it. The farmer, people believe on data rather than reading each data. He, with agritech company, he's making a lot of money out of the data. You could own your own financial data and eventually use that as a group. When you and then we saw a lot of companies trying to empower people with an access to their own wallet to manage their own data. Hasn't been affected so long.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a question of there's adoption issue. It's a question of education. It's a question of there's a massive challenge of people don't understand the value of this data. Is that a bit silly now to
Yeah.
example?
Yeah. Yeah.
Only maybe 10% of the people would be able to use it, would be very independent, manage their data, but 90% of them not well educated enough, not understanding how it's going,
Yeah.
will have to rely on someone to manage the data for them.
Yeah, at least in our generations, at least in the next maybe 20 years, majority of the people today will not be able, maybe in the future too, because we are stupidified by the social media content, meaning that more people now have access to technology and information than ever before. But more people, those people that have access to those information are less smarter than before in terms of making their own decision. In my opinion, I may be totally wrong, but they have a lot of information in their hands, consumed every day, but those information actually make them more stupider, like less smarter. So let's break that into two sections. One section is the current state, our generation, past generation to our generation. Majority of our generation do not know how to manage their own digital life. So they will have to rely on. I'm a big believer and try to push very much, and I still believe there's an alternative. Most people do not know how to manage their own digital life and their own data because the prevention from the corporation tries to do that, and also the unwillingness from the user themselves to learn how to manage their own digital life, digital data. And so from the tech corporation side, they don't want to build a UX that empower the user. They want to build a UX
Manage them
to
because they
manage
want to
them.
keep this content.
Yeah,
You're not supporting this access to
yeah,
digital life management
yeah,
because it's a way for them to people.
yeah. And you cannot do anything about it because the user themselves also empower the corporation to be so. And but there's a hope for a few percentage of the populations who want to control their own digital life, their own data, and all of that. That's possible. So I see a two parallel world where corporation will always have always have control of the public corporation or government will have that control, whether we want it or not. If if one government administration don't do, the other one will do. If Microsoft, Google's other FANG don't do, there might be new thing that seem not evil, and then when they grow big enough, they become evil again because they just shift the power from one hand to another. That's the fact.
That's very insightful.
Yeah.
That's very, very.
And then the next generations, there's a 50-50 chance if we give enough people an opportunity to learn things to empower themselves. For example, from an early age, through in my belief, in my effort, I think open source will open up their mind a lot more. Then not only a user, they will become a super user. And if they do, they can empower other nearby, other next to them.
Maybe I think what raising is a very good point here about all human willingness of really managing all the above. And at some point, if people don't want, we can't force them in getting into something they don't want.
Yeah.
Maybe what could happen at least in this decentralized system could happen at the enterprise level.
Hmm.
So if many more companies have the ability to collaborate within each other without having to be relying on the big giants, to basically better collaborate on sharing data and information amongst each other
Hmm.
in a very secure, anonymized, and encrypted way in the blockchain.
Hmm.
That at the enterprise layer could it help in generating new things,
mm.
in protecting data ownership, and in being less dependent on certain like diets? Do you think it could happen, this decentralized system, a bit more at the enterprise level rather than at the individual level?
I don't know. Before I would say yes, yes, it will happen. But the natures of human, maybe may, maybe I'm bringing mm, less hope to the conversation. But we should accept the truth that yes, of course, enterprise. w- I mean, you and many other people who are now in this level could bring this idea, this concept to the enterprise level and make them more communicate, more fair, build a fairer world. But then the people who take over your job 10 years from now will do the opposite. So yes, of course, it will happen, but then will it last? Because the natures of, of human is drive to control. Not everyone, but like most people try to control, especially the people from the very rich and the people from the very poor. The very poor one, they never have anything. If they if they have access to something and they're not educated in morality way, then they would want to control and get as much as they want first because they never have it.
We have a, I believe you know the famous Netflix documentary Drive to Survive. I think now we should have the one Drive to Control. So I think it's great to get your opinion as a tech engineer, as someone to really put your hands dirty into the
Mm.
tech.
Yeah,
It's I'm really glad that I could get onto the of the things. Is these are just the picture. Let's
yeah,
be the 2025 prediction. People see a lot of things happening with agentic AI, being able to better cooperate through the centralized system,
mm.
through the chain, using singularity net, using Ocean Protocol, using GaiaNet, using ODT, Armada, and others, all of these systems that are flourishing, but nobody knows how it's going to happen. Nobody knows how much the adoption will be there.
Yeah,
Now, part of the borderless impact initiative is to obviously understand and envision what picture looks like in terms of the technology, but it's deliver a better impact. And I'm so glad that this you speak a lot about human. And I'm a big believer that we need to put human at the center of any tech transformation. How do you think we need to deliver a better impact with technology here in Cambodia? Do you think it is happening, and what do you think is missing? How technology could really deliver certain impact in develop better activity healthcare, education. Education is so important in Cambodia.
mm.
Do you think it is happening? Do you think that AI will help do this more or not? Why? What's your view on the technology bringing to Cambodia? And let's talk about education, which is so important. We need some help.
I think the current technology. I mean, we always have technology. The current technology we have, which is the internet, the computer, and the AI, um, ha, have brought um, our have brought to human to the society um, a big leap to become more effective, more efficient, much more connected, and it is impacting uh, the societies. How positive it is, we have to analyze. Um, I mean, there's always good and bad with the technology that brought to us, and most of the time we only blinded by the good of the technology that brought to us. But sometimes we also need to look at the negative side of the impact from the technology. I don't know why I see this now. I mean, um, sometimes I question myself, should I continue with the computer project? Um, but whether we want to do it or not, um, people will need to access it anyway. And so if we do it with the good intentions, it may have enlarged the positive impact on the society, on the people's life that we can get.
What are the best innovative solution, especially using AI, you've seen in Cambodia that really blew your mind? Because you thought it was really bringing something good to the Cambodian future, to the Cambodian people.
AI, so far as I know, it helped the developer to build, to develop faster. Those who can know how to use it. Those who, for those who are in the contents, they are just trashing the internet more. Nowadays, when people reach out to me, I read your text. I think you write it yourself. When you send me the message.
Yeah, the question.
Yeah, the question. Most people send me the AI way. When I read it, I just don't want to read because
It's the AI chat.
yeah. AIs, they rely on AI like 90%. And then sometimes I get bored and I just ask them, is it AI talking to me or are you talking to me?
So I'm glad you perceived that my question, did it come from ChatGPT. I'm not sure that I could have gotten this question from ChatGPT. I think we need to. I'm a firm believer we need to use AI to complement this, complementing what you, but relying entirely on AI is something that's just going to make us more dumb than
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
And
I mean, I could see the for myself, for example, my I'm the second English as a second language, right, speaker. So in the past, I always have my mentor, American mentor, to help me edit and correct my English, but not changing my perspective, not changing my opinion on the text. So I could see the word that I wrote and the work that he edited for me, it's the same. It doesn't change. But most people just write to AI and AI spit out whatever the AI way, and then they just take it and then send it to me. So I use AI as a replacement of my mentor editor. Just fix my grammar because I'm bad with grammar.
yeah, and you
But
get
don't
it as an assistant.
yeah, but do not do anything for me. Yeah, I just want grammar fix. And anything that come out, I would learn and I would bring more of my opinion to it and then improve my text. But um, it doesn't do anything more than that.
So something we haven't touched yet, and that I really want to discuss with you. I know how much you've worked in the development space, and you have been interested in the blockchain capabilities and how it could change another business model. And I know that you love cycling. I know that you love to go and just for your walk in the forest, and you have your own land bike, Alun Air, which I'm going to visit very soon. And I understood that you would love to also use that plan to do carbon offsetting and eventually to people to preserve the planet in buying some carbon credits that eventually we can operate your land. And correct me if I'm wrong. Uh, I want to really understand a bit more as a person who wants to do an impact, right? This is about generating impact for the planet. This is about really using technology to basically, make something good for the planet. And I believe that's the reason we are meeting today. I want to understand a bit more. What are the challenges you are facing? You want to do something.
Yeah.
You have your land. You want to de-plant more trees.
Mm.
You want to help the decarbonization of our planet. But I read online that it seems complicated.
Yeah.
Even if you have everything in mind, then you give me the vision, what you want to achieve, and why you are struggling.
So first of all, the carbon credit, I think there's more politics than the politic itself. Um, and it require a big piece of land to do to it.
Sizable.
Yeah, sizable. And to me, this is not really helpful because it does not encourage the small size landowner the to not incentivize small size landowner. When I say small size, not 100 hectares. We have almost 100 hectares, but those with like 20 20,000 square meter that they want to keep 50% of that and only build a small house. Nowadays, you make more money from the land side than keeping the tree. But if the original idea was if we could save 60%, 70%, 80% of the land for the tree and forest, and only use 20% of it, and everyone else do the same, then 80% of the world will be covered by forest, right? Because right now we have many buildings.
And it's a question of size of your land, if I understand well. So you cannot edit, you cannot offer any carbon credit and sell it today because you don't have any
Yeah,
certification.
yeah. And we, uh, honestly, it's like it's like my blog for that part. I don't think it will happen. It might happen, but I don't think it will push to get carbon credit because if we get it, it doesn't generate enough anyway, and we don't really need that. Um, it's already giving me what I need, basically. The land, the the natures for me and my siblings and my friends to enjoy, and the land that used to be dug and destroyed now covered by green and forest, the part that we own.
I think it's
And
again it's the question about how you bring this down to the individual level because a lot of small owners of land could eventually do something with their own land if it would not be just dictated politically just by the giants, but if you could re-empower every single person with a land,
yeah,
get it encrypted in the blockchain that they are doing something good that they need to be paid for that.
yeah,
But it's always the same. It's like how you ground it to this individual level. It seems to be very complicated because with
lots of coordination.
coordination.
Yeah, lots of coordination. I mean, everyone have their own mindset of what carbon credit for. If they have 10 hectares of land and they don't use it to do agriculture, then or they do it agriculture in a green way, then how much do they get? And the coordinations and incentivize who incentivize those credit. I think it might happen in the futures if we have enough people with their piece of land and set aside, verify by community in a decentralized way, then we would generate an economy of uh, carbon credit with yeah, yeah,
And you bring referring sustainably inside thinking you bring it into the community. This can only happen in a country like Cambodia if the communities underground bringing it together.
yeah,
Same for health system. Same for agriculture. I was talking to a solar farm this morning. Explain how much community are very important to them to get back to its products.
yeah,
So having the ability to make this every single landowner needs to happen in the community to in Cambodia.
yeah,
So I feel it's like different layers, individual layers, community layers, like small enterprise SME layers
mm,
in the type. There
yeah,
are like different layers that needs to work all together.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I thought about it many times with my team about building a system where people can verify themselves of how many tree they grown and how many tree they plants they take care, and then that collectively would add up and calculate a carbon capture and then sell it in the market through a tokenized.
You estimated it,
Yeah, yeah.
and
However, we did not go that far. We thought there are other important tasks, more important tasks than that, than trying to fight something
yeah.
like that. But once our blockchain project um, getting more mature, and when we have more time, I think that might be something we want to work on because it's fun. It's just consuming a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to
Cool.
get the right
Yeah.
impact there.
Yeah.
You need to explain. I think it's a kind of question of dedicated and explaining on how every single people about how they how they can get paid for the impact that we generate at the individual level.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we might get there a few years from now once we are more free from the occupying work that we have.
That's a good point. It's a very good point, and I like this. A very insightful view again on how we should re-empower people, and how complicated it is. Um, can you explain me a bit more as an investor as well now? Uh, what you are interested in the market at the moment? Because I understand that you are continue to set up a lot of tech companies and you always move with small one
SmallWorld.
ventures
Yeah.
to support those new companies, new ventures who are basically trying to deliver better impact.
Yeah.
So 2025 just started. A lot of things are happening geopolitically as well. A lot of things will change as well.
Yeah.
What's your view on where would you invest in the next kind of the 12 months? What is
So I want to clarify before we invest outside, in a small startup like seed level startup. Now we're more of a venture studio or ventures building.
help me?
So we now build inside the small world community, small world team to build technology offering rather than supporting a random startup from the outside. The reason is that the team within small world hold and understand the culture that we have more, and when we build it, it is more aligned when it comes to visions for the long term. Because most of the startup we build has a very long term vision. For example, um, a sport and ticketing and media stadium management startup looking at 20 years from now what we want to do with the sport industry in Cambodia and bring especially football to to the World Cup. Just a vision. It might not happen. And so in 2025 we will not invest in any new company. We only build the current company. One in around the payment surrounding bank payments and crypto payment, and we may add Khmer Real stablecoin into that, so that it help with trade finance, cross-border finance.
Very borderless in a sense again.
Yeah. Um, it may help the Cambodian populations to get exposure to crypto a bit better,
In terms of
more,
adoptions,
yeah,
helping them.
yeah,
And we need people like
safe.
you to work on the adoption of food security.
Yeah. So the payment side, we look at that, and then e-commerce, SaaS, we look at how we can help to build digital house, digital home for business on the internet, and then help them funnel their product to multiple marketplace in Cambodia, so it help them sell more. Because right now, most marketplace and most e-commerce in Cambodia are relying heavily on Facebook Marketplace, and it's not very easy for small business to grow. And so we look at that, and we build that for the last 2 years. We build a payment page that integrate with bank, and this year will with that would be that already 1.5 year, and this year we will add crypto payment into that.
Is
Um,
crypto already adopted here in Cambodia?
very small, but this year the government released an announcement about crypto legalized crypto blockchain based and stablecoin based. Um,
And do you think the last recent election from Donald Trump with the Bitcoin going flying to the roof, do you think it could help in a certain way? Because now that Trump is supporting more blockchain adoption, do you think it could cascade and come down to Southeast Asia and Cambodia, knowing how Cambodia is
for
financially
tied to
tied to the
yeah
US,
yeah.
US dollar?
I think it had to push more because now people seem to be more positive about cryptos and blockchains and cryptocurrencies, and the word is less demor- demonized than before. Like in the past, if you bring Bitcoin into the conversation, you are either a traitor or someone that
It's more commoditized.
yeah. So now we are now it's more accepted. So I think it will help to increase more adoption. But it beyond Bitcoin will serve as the torch for the blockchains and cryptocurrencies that bring borderless finance and borderless trade between Cambodia and another. Because right now we still rely on, I think, 90% on the old banking style. Like I sell product to Europe, I wait 1 week to maybe uh, or so to bring money back to my company, and even locally we wait 3 days to settlement those
So it's
kind.
more in terms of getting accelerating payments
Yeah,
and financial flow for money.
yeah,
Which also I see a lot of very good bodies in having the ability to transfer money across border.
yeah,
For people who have dependents who are working overseas but
yeah,
needs to bring back the money to Cambodian people.
yeah,
And today it's very complicated able to get a loan while your husband, for instance, is a worker in Singapore.
yeah,
Get the money in Singapore, and how you basically get the money back into Cambodia, or a loan to your wife to get a loan here to buy a passport, for
yeah,
instance.
yeah,
And we need more of this decentralized system to foster um, financial transparency, financial better collaboration between different banks and on financial institutions in IT.
yeah, yeah, yeah. True. Um, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of
What's the
Cambodian
challenge?
working that
What's the challenge you think? Is it technology? Is it what's the main
no,
challenge you have? You try to implement
yeah,
this financing system. What's the challenge you have?
regulation.
Regulation.
Yeah, regulation is still unclear, although they don't stop us from doing so. So, but we cannot be openly ex, exposed to the user, to the public about what we do, because that's against the law. We need to get a license, but regulation wise, it's not very clear to get a license. We don't know how to get the license. There's nobody give the license. It's only an announcement. So that's what we have now. But the current government is very open to new idea, new concept. So I'm I'm more hopeful in that part. Um, mm, so both technologies and regulation go along together, but regulation is more of a blockage than technology, because technology wise it's just a few smart contracts and maybe a few apps, like one app, one mobile apps, and a web app
Yes.
and a server to run.
Well, we've covered a lot,
Mm.
and in 1 hour, I needed with you. I could really go deep into the technology landscape because I could feel how much you have a deep techno knowledge across different open source systems.
Mm. If I could go to vitamin air later while you're there, then we could have tea tea talk.
I wish
That would be nice.
I wish we could continue this conversation. I've been advised about your vision and about you as a person and like that. So that's why I'm so pleased that we could meet and today. I'm sorry it was late. Um, you know that I'm on the road driving all the way to Europe, trying to meet inspiring people like you. Do you have any tips for me? Any recommendation? Any advice for the next weeks and months?
I mean, you are in the right direction. You're going to Kirarum, you're going to Sinawil, and you go to Comport. Those are the places I would go to visit.
And what would you do? Like me, running this Borderless Impact project, if you would have like a one person that you would like to really meet in Asia, who could be this person? Why? In the skill space of really understanding, getting a better understanding of what do we need more to create an impact for our planet and our mankind, and how much technology can help. Is there anyone that you wish you could meet?
No offense.
You
I
don't
don't.
need friends.
No offense. I don't want to meet anybody. Like I don't want to really meet people. Like if it happened, for example, someone introduced me to you, from Melanie introduced me to you, then I say, okay, that's good. Let's just meet. But then if I suddenly thinking of there, I want to meet somebody, I don't know who I want to meet. I would want to spend more time with myself because I meet too many people. Nowadays I would work, and then oftentimes I just run to my room and then do a short meditation. Vipassana.
I'm very grateful that you gave me that part. And I know that I've texted him a few times, maybe 5 or 6 times, and I didn't really know if he would accept the lump today. But listening to you, getting your vision of the world, understanding how you behave as a person and how you drive your life, drive the control, you, and how you rely on friends and network. I'm feeling very proud that you gave me that fun today. Uh, and really thank you for that because I learned. I think I could really feel that you're a very human-centered person, and I think we miss people like you to drive technology transformation. Too much time. I feel that technology transformation leads human to the wrong place. Like the old typical social media, the old stupid people that were using ChatGPT to everything or like we said. I think we need to get more people thinking a bit differently, like me. So I'm glad we met. And I would really like if we could continue that conversation around, tea conversation, invite that in here, which he redisplays, which I'm going to visit, and I'm really would love to see you again. Invite that in your invite. I'm trying to push him. It's another 3 days, but I hope that he will accept, and that at least I know that I will continue this conversation with you. Thank you so much,
Okay, thank
Rithy.
you very much.
I'm glad we recorded everything. It was an amazing conversation, and I hope to see you very soon.
Yeah. Yeah.